Great to see you guys here. Wonderful, wonderful manifestors here. All right, so unlocking your mind's power. That is what we're going to talk about today. The secrets of the mind, consciousness, and all this great stuff that we have going on in our reality. How's everybody doing today? Great to see all you wonderful high vibrational manifestors here. Good morning to wherever you are. Great to see all of you here. How's everybody doing today? All right, guys. So, the levels of the mind. So, you all know, right? There's different levels to your mind, right? So, your mind has a lot of different levels. I talk a lot about this stuff, but I want to teach you something today from a different perspective or a different perception that will really enhance your manifesting abilities. Yes, you finally caught alive. Do I know about morphic fields? Yes, morphogenic fields. They're like the shadow of our energy fields. The morphogenic fields of consciousness. I knew all of that. We can talk about that. So, all right. Hello from Orange County. Grand Risings, guys. So it's so great to see you guys here as well. Now, the mind. The powerful tool we use. All right. So let me show. I want to teach you how to do this. So I'm going to teach you how to get into 5D thinking, 5D consciousness. All right, not 4D. So okay, right now we are stuck in 4-dimensional matrix. Or it's not the matrix isn't 3D anymore. It's 4D because time. We incorporate time as a dimension. So don't think 3D anymore, think 4D. So you don't want to be 4-dimensional, you want to be 5-dimensional. You want to be above space and time. And the only thing that can do that and accomplish that is your mind, of course. So let me show you something. We're going to talk about the 3D thinking, the 4D thinking. I'm going to teach you how to get into the 5th-dimensional thinking. Now, when you're in 5D thinking, a lot of great stuff happen for you. 5D thinking, think about it. 3D, 4D thinking, 3D, 4D, and you're in the 5th-dimensional 5D thinking. What do you think gonna happen in your life? Now think about this. If you're in the 5D, you have domain over space and time. That means you have domain over the physical world to bring stuff in. Because remember, we all bring stuff in through our awareness and our consciousness, right? So, I will like to ask you a question. Because many of you probably don't even know this. This may be your first time hearing this. Has anyone ever heard of 5D thinking? Probably not. Or what is 5-dimensional thinking in your perspective or in your opinion? So I'll break it down to you while you're pondering that question, the answer to that question. You've got to remember how reality works, right? Reality is observed by an observer. You and I, our observation creates an effect on matter we see, and it transmutes into what we call physical matter. So that is what. So our reality is based on our observation, and our observation are basically our thoughts, our emotions, etc. So, can anyone tell me what is 5D thinking? Because this is going to blow your mind here. If you start to do this, and guess what? Many of you most likely have been doing 5D thinking all along. You probably weren't aware of it. So I'm going to make you aware of 5D thinking. Someone says 5-dimensional thinking. Sounds interesting. Lining up for the next logical step. So what is 5D thinking? Well, okay, let's talk about the benefits of 5D thinking. Here you go. When you're in 5D thinking, you can win the lottery. When you're in 5D thinking, you can manifest success. When you're in 5D thinking, you can take your business to the next level. When you're in 5D thinking, things no longer affect you. When you're in 5D thinking, human beings don't have emotional impact on you anymore. When you're in 5D thinking, you take nothing personal. When you're in 5-dimensional thinking, nothing affects you unless you allow it to affect you. That's 5D. When you're in 5D thinking, you get crazy downloads. Intuition is on fire. Visions, dreams, everything just flows to you when you're in 5D thinking. However, when you're in 4 and 3D thinking, you meet a lot of resistance. You meet a lot of limitations. You take things personal. People upset you. You get low self-esteem. You see limitations. You get stress. You get anxiety. By the way, also, when you are in 5-dimensional thinking, you are more healthier because you produce less cortisol or less stress. There actually was a study done on this. They didn't call it 5-dimensional thinking, but this is 5D thinking. When you 5-dimensional thinking is when I'm going to give it a clue and I'm going to tell you how to do it. 5-dimensional thinking incorporates 2 aspects. When you see the big picture, when you do not think in limits, and when you think outside of the box, so to speak. That is 5-dimensional thinking. 5-dimensional thinking is the highest form of human thinking that you can get, besides getting into spirit form and being your higher self. Any other stuff above that, you have to be in a spiritual form. You're not going to be a human anymore. So think about this. So as a human being, if you can access this level of thinking, you are going to be on your way. Does this sound interesting? Does this sound exciting for you? So imagine if you can do this. And think about this. 5D thinking is very easy to do. It takes practice. So let me show you the first thing to get into 5D thinking. I'm getting some downloads here, so as I'm talking to you, things are coming to me. All right. So here's the first thing to be a 5-dimensional thinker. You have to be delusional. You have to be a little delusional. See, to show you the perspective. 5D thinking, you have to see the big picture. You have to see what's called best way I want to put it to you. In 5-dimensional thinking, you have to see your greatest imagination. That means you have to get a little delusional. When the lottery thing, how I won the lottery and I win the lottery, I had to spend a lot of time in 5D thinking because I had to see something that my mind said was impossible. See, I had to go beyond that. So that's the first step to be in 5-dimensional thinking. And let me show you why it works this way. Remember, our brains, right? They are tuned to a certain frequency. They're tuned to 3 and 4D. But there's something about your brain. Your brain has immense power to pick up other frequencies. It's a tuner. The farthest your brain can go is in the 5D. After that, you got to get into like the astral realm. You have to get into astral projection. 5D thinking, you can do telepathy. 5D thinking is where those higher beings are. You know, these we call these UFOs, these beings from other, they're in a 5-dimensional thinking. They can talk to you through telepathy. They don't exist in 3 or 4D thinking anymore. So you can get to 5D thinking. So that's the first thing to get into 5D thinking. All right, the next step to get into 5D thinking, and this is critical here, you have to think and imagine all the time, or majority of the time, that whatever it is you want, you will get it, and whatever it is that you desire is working out for you. 5D thinking is you always see the glass half full instead of half empty. And let me show you why. Whenever it's optimism. So are you following me so far? So let's do a review. 2 categories. You have to be a little delusional. That means you have to see things that people can't see or imagine. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of a 5D thinker. A 5D thinker would be someone, let's say they're aspiring to own lots of businesses, big businesses. And let's say they just work, I'm just giving you an example. Let's say they work in a small coffee shop. They have no educational background in business structure or anything like that. But their goal and the desire is to own big businesses, their own company. They have no training educationally for it. But they're in this coffee shop and they're around their friends and they're sitting there and they're talking and all their friends are talking about what they want to do. One friend says, yeah, you know, I just want to go work and be a boss in my own coffee shop. Yeah, I just want to go to school and finish this up. Yeah, I think I just want to get a raise. I don't know, maybe I want to just work in a bigger coffee shop. Okay, that's 3 and 4D thinking. Now, the 5D thinker will say, yeah, I like what I'm doing, but I want to own this big mega business. I want to have like 5 businesses. I want to have like 10 apartment complexes. And you're working in a coffee shop. Now, the 3D and the 4D thinkers will look at you and says, what the hell's wrong with you? But that's what you call being delusional. And let me show you the power of that. You see, guys, something that you may not be aware of, and they may not show you or teach you this, is that whatever your mind can conceive, the brain will achieve it. That's the 5. So what happens? Let me show you. So if you're this person and you keep thinking, now you don't know how this is going to happen. You got no educational background. You got none of this to run business, but you just keep thinking big. You're seeing that businesses, things I'm owning, all of this. Here's what's going on. Here's what's happening inside of the human brain. Okay. When you're doing that, you are stretching the neuron, the synapses. You are forcing your brain to create new neural pathways. They call that what? Synaptic pruning, and that's followed by neuroplasticity. So what your brain is doing, your brain is building a new software to pick up a new frequency in the 5 dimension. In the 5D, now let me remind you, what exists in the 5 dimension? 5D is all of your desires have already manifested there. They are there for you. In the 5D is where your higher self can work with you freely because there is no resistance. You can go right to your higher self in the 5D and get the information and bring it back with no resistance. Resistance only occurs in the 3 and the 4 dimension. So let me get you. So this person here is just thinking. Now keep in mind, this person doesn't have no idea that they're in 5D. That's just what they want. They have no idea how they're going to get what they want. And that is a great thing to have. Because if this person was a logical person and start thinking how I'm going to get it, they will get out of 5D thinking more. Because they are so oblivious to it, they just do it because it just makes them feel good. The next step to be a 5D thinker is always focus on things that make you feel good. Now let's go back into the brain and what happens. So this person, they don't know what's going on, but they're just doing it. And over, let's say over a year or 2, they're still at this coffee shop and they're still thinking about this. What's happened in their brain have already wired the connections. Okay. And then one day this person gets up and this person then starts to go to YouTube, and this person starts to read stuff on business stuff, and this person starts to read stuff on, he has no idea why he's doing it, he just feels like he's doing it. I'm going to tell you what's happened. And then this person starts to interact, and then people start to come into this person's coffee shop. People that own businesses, they start talking to that person. Out of everybody, what happens here is the brain had rewired itself. The subconscious had now picked up the frequency of the 5D thinker, and what the subconscious does now, it brings the reality and the circumstances into that person so that they can experience it. So this person in a coffee shop, when they're in a coffee shop, they meet a guy. This guy comes in, he has big businesses. There's a connection. This person tells him what he wants to do. He says, hey, watch this, follow this. Before you know it, 3 years later, that person in the coffee shop now has his own business and is growing with no educational background, with no need for none of that BS. What happens? Everything is stored above the 5D. All the information you desire or need, just have to put into your brain, and your brain orchestrates for it, and then you become the best version of yourself. Do you see how that works? That's the 5D thinker. Now let's go into the health benefits of 5D. The more you can imagine something that makes you feel good, something that makes you feel hopeful, the better your overall health is. Point blank. More positive, more optimistic, less cortisol, less stress, more health. So that sums that up. That's why researchers say you become more healthier when you think positive. Positive thinkers are 5-dimensional beings. That's 5D thinking. Think about this, guys. How many people practice optimism and positivity as a daily routine? Probably only you guys here. We are the minority in the population. The majority is stuck in 3 and 4D. Their brains are stuck. So 5D thinkers, let's review so you can get this. The 5D thing, I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen when you start doing this. The 5D thinkers are always optimists. The 5D thinkers always think of things that make them feel good. The 5D thinkers always see the big picture. The 5D thinkers always get a little delusional. They go for the biggest dreams. They don't care how it's gonna happen. They always stay in that realm. Okay, following me? Because now you're outside of space and time. Now, the next component to be a 5D thinker is this. A 5D thinker, I'm going to use this to make sense to you. They always see their best version of what they call their future self. 5D thinkers always see the future self as the biggest success in their life. A 5D thinker does not see, and this is going to trip you up here, guys, because I want to be this important. A 5D thinker doesn't see the moment. A 5D thinker sees beyond the moment. Let that sink in. In other words, a 5D thinker does not see and focus on what their reality is right this moment. They're beyond that. The 5D thinkers already see, if you want to call it in time or the future, they've already seen the success before it happens. I'll give an example of what that means. If you're at a job and you don't like it, if your reality sucks, you don't like it, majority of people will think about how to get out of that situation just to make ends meet. Not the 5D thinker. The 5D thinker goes all the way and see the big picture. And that's the next thing. 5D thinkers always see the end results. They never see the beginning. They never see the middle. A 5D thinker is someone that when they watch the movie, they skip all the way and just see how the movie ends. They don't have time to see the other storyline. Okay, how it begins. They go right to the end. That's the next thing about 5-dimensional thinkers. See how that works? Now let's tie that in to neuroscience, quantum mechanics, and bring it back into the 4-dimensional world. All right, so remember this. I got to give you a next big one here. 5-dimensional thinkers, they practice a lot of illogical stuff. 5D thinkers don't use logic to get their desires. They only use logic in the 3D to get them in their day-to-day stuff. 5D thinkers, they're beyond logic. They go into illogic. In other words, 5D thinkers look for signs. They look for intuition. They listen to their gut. They follow more of the non-conventional ways of communication. They look for patterns, and they observe patterns, and they follow patterns. For the record, I'll give you a tip. This is how you know you are approaching 5-dimensional thinking. This is the beginning steps of a 5D thinker. When you're being followed by numbers, synchronicities, you are in the beginning stage of a 5-dimensional thinker. 3 and 4D dimension people will never notice synchronicities. They will never stop, and they'll never say, these patterns are going on in my life. They cannot do that because their brains have been hemispherically synced into a 3 and a 4D world. They haven't done the other stuff I just told you to open those neural pathways so they can get other information. So, someone here says, if you're sick and about to get to the hospital, you need to delete hospital image and see healthy. That's correct. That's 5D thinking. 5D thinkers see the end no matter how delusional it seems for them. Now look, balance here. I'm talking little delusional, not full delusional. Little delusional is you're in something and you're working at the coffee shop and you see a big O. Because most people, you're stuck, you can't do that. That's little delusional. Full delusional is you're working in the coffee shop and you think that you can fly and go off into different realities without wings or anything. That's delusional. We don't go there. We're talking common sense little delusional or constructed logical delusional. Okay, so to get the difference. So it doesn't mean that you're full delusional, you're sitting here, you think you're going to disappear and jump back into another planet and come back. You can't do that in physical. You can do that in the astral, but I'm just giving you so you can get the idea. Okay, all right, now let's talk about the science of this stuff. So let's go back into it now. So let's say now you start to do this. A couple things are going to happen. Since you're in a 5D, you are going to be above space and time. You are going to be above any physical constraints or restrictions or resistance in your 3D and 4D world. So what happens to you now is you're going to open up a whole new level of awareness and reality. Your brain now is going to get a bunch of downloads that was waiting there for you because your brain wasn't optimized to do it. Now your brain is optimized. I'll give you an example. 5D is like you have your phone, okay? And when your phone sends you these updates, but you don't see them, you forget them. Then one day you say, "Oh man, let me check my phone." He's like, "Oh man, look at that! I have 3 updates." And you go boom, and you go update your phone, and then you get all these new updates. And then when your phone turns on, you say, "Oh, look at this new feature! Oh, this is why my phone was glitching. I was wondering why it was glitching. It's fixed. Oh, look at the screen. Damn, what's going da 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 da?" Because these downloads were in your phone waiting for you to optimize them. So when you're in a 5D world, you have optimized them because you were thinking the big picture, you were seeing the end goal, you're always thinking positive, you're being optimistic, you're being a little delusional, you didn't care about how it was going to come, you didn't care about no logic, you were going with the feelings, you're looking for the synchronicities, you got dreams, you're looking for the patterns are talking to you, you're talking to you. 5 comes right into your world. So now your brain is optimized. All these things get downloaded, and guess what? The 3D, the 4D world becomes so easy for you to navigate. All right, we got to go on more stuff about 5D thinking. I haven't even gotten to the part about the biological stuff about 5D thinkers, about the human nature part of 5D thinkers, about the interconnection, interpersonal relationships between human beings and 5D thinkers. So, and I haven't gotten into the ego part of 5D thinkers. So let me show you something, break you something down. Whenever you're a 5D thinker, you reduce your ego by 80%. That means your ego only have a 20% effect on 5D thinkers. When you're in the 4th, 3 and 4D dimensions, your ego have a 70 to 80% hold on you. So let's talk about that. Someone asked me here, Tony H says, how can I buy a house in cash in 5D? So I just taught you guys 5D. Can someone answer this question for Tony? How do you see? Now I'm going to teach you here. When you're in the 5D, you don't think of house. They don't exist in 5D, Tony. 3 and 4D, you think of how. In the 5D, you just see the house and you see yourself paying cash. That's all 5D is. There's no how. There's just the end of it. So let's go back into the ego part of this. I'm going to show you something. Whenever you get to 5D, this is where you know you're from. The people around you, you are going to get a lot of haters. You're going to get a lot of jealous people. You're going to get a lot of people that do not like you when you're in 5D. And here's why. Human beings have an innate ability to sense change or sense something that they don't understand. And the natural reaction to human beings when they don't understand something, the brain classifies it as fear. Fear means stay away and they avoid it. So people will start to do that to you. And here's why. Because when you're in the 5D, you are no longer affected by people's emotional views of you. You don't care what people think of you anymore. And these people, when they pick that up, it creates jealousy because it's a void that they're missing that they want to have. The thing that you're exhibiting is what they wish they could exhibit. Hence, they will hate you for that. They will throw salt in your game. They will talk behind your back. They will look you up and down. Okay? It's a great sign you're in the 5D. 5D thinkers, when it comes to human relationships and everything like that, they don't force anything. They let everything flow. A 5D thinker, when it comes to dealing with people, again, I repeat this, they don't care what people think about them because they already know what they are, man. They already seen something that these people can't see. Your family will get scared. Your friends will get scared. They'll start saying you're changing. It's not that you're changing. It's that you've elevated into another level of higher conscious thinking and awareness that they haven't gotten a clue how to act. And they're still in survival mechanism. So their subconscious or unconscious, the monkey brain now, is forced to resist and say, what the heck is this? This guy's different. 5D thinkers have a healthy self-esteem. They have a healthy confidence of themselves. 5D thinkers, they always think trippy stuff. You know what I mean by trippy stuff? What people call weird stuff. 5D thinkers always think outside the box. A 5D thinker doesn't think about how something works. They think beyond that. They think of, it's working for me. I already have it. They don't put their minds on the what. And 5D thinkers, now the ego part, here's the ego part now about the 5D, when you're in the 5D ego, 20%. You see now, when you're in this fifth dimensional world, because there is no space, there is no time, you're always present. Hence, your ego spends less time coming to you because it fears the present. This is why your ego will only affect you 20%. If the ego is only affecting you 20%, you're going to reveal who you truly are. That there's no limits, there's nobody stopping you but yourself. You see how that works? That's the fifth dimensional thinkers. Now the brain part again. So once your brain get accustomed to this new way of thinking, it's going to create this habit. And your subconscious mind now is going to pick this up. This is going to be your new normal life, your new way of living. And this is when these great things will start to happen for you now. See how that works? Now, I'll sum it up because someone says, well, Mark, what's the best definition of the 5D thinking when it comes to people? Here's the thing. 5D, when you're in a 5D thinking mentality, victim doesn't exist. You can never see yourself as victims. In other words, a 5D thinker never criticize or blame themselves for something happening to them or someone else. A 5D thinker will observe, accept, and then they'll see, okay, how, for the 5D thinker, does a 5D thinker will observe, accept, and then go and say, okay, what would it look like for this to be fixed? Okay, the next big quality, now this is the most important one, this is what I teach people, and this is what I'm teaching you, and this is what you have to do. 5D thinkers spend lots of time talking to themselves. out aloud. They spend a lot of time talking to the universe. They spend a lot of time using affirmations. What would my life look like this? They spend a lot of time in conversation with their higher self. Hey, check this out. I've been thinking about that thing. Here's what I'd like you to do. How about find the way, the opportunity to make this happen? Hey, this pinch I got in my back, fix it. That's all they say. Or they even go deeper than that. They'll observe any part of their body that's in pain or anything that's off, and all they'll say to themselves is, hey, fix yourself. That's it. They go to the cells and say, they don't say, oh my God, like, I wonder what this is. They feel some pain, they feel something, they go right to the cell. They say, hey, fix yourself. Have you tried that before? That's very powerful. If you don't know about that, now you know. That's my technique. Anything, notice up. Okay, listen, fix yourself. Fix, pain goes away, cells heal. You know why that happens? Can anyone answer me that? It's not fluke. It's actually science in there. That's actually that's called the placebo effect. But for 5D thinkers, it works instantaneously. Anyone knows why? Can you answer me that question? I know you guys are saying, hey, he's 100% correct. Yes, because our cells listen. But it's a deeper, I want to get deeper here. 5D thinkers go deep now. Yeah, the cells listen, but let's talk. Why? Okay, I could teach this to someone in the 3D. I could tell someone in the 3 and the 4th dimension. I say, hey, whenever you get a pain, tell yourself, fix it. And it won't work the same. Oh, here's someone got this, man. Who's this? This is Joy. The reason why this works is because 5D thinkers are totally detached from everything. She said it. There's no detachment. There is detachment, sorry. There is no attachment. A 5D thinker lives in flow world. So that means they're not attached to situations, outcomes, their body. They don't, when they feel something of pain, they're not startled. They're not like, oh my God, what's that? They just notice it and they say, fix it. And when you're in the 3 and the 4D and you try this, it may not work for you. Because the reason why it won't work for you, number one, you're probably not going to fully believe it. And number two, you're going to have so much resistance and stuff going on that your ego is going to interrupt it. Remember, in 5D, you only got 20% ego interruption. In 3 and 4D, you got 80%. So for this to work, you got to incorporate all the other stuff. Or you may be someone just have a really high belief quality because you're 5D perfect. So that's what I always do. If something happened, I feel it, I say, fix it. If something's bugging me, I just say, hey, listen. I talk to my higher self in the 5D. I tell it, I say, listen, this is bugging me, so I'd like you to go ahead and fix it. And then I forget about it. That's what 5D thinkers do. Because see, you're accessing something that has not yet been processed by the brain. You're already accessing something that already manifested, but the brain hasn't picked it up to manifest it in your 3D world. Does that make sense? All right, let me give you an example. I'm going to sum it up. When you're in a 5-dimensional world thinking, let's say you're driving a car. When you're in 5-dimensional world, you're driving your car. In a 3-dimensional world, the person in a 3-dimensional world that's driving their car will only see the next car ahead of them. A 5-dimensional person that's driving their car, they will see all the cars ahead. They'll see all the way down 1 mile to the next stuff that's going on. That's to sum up 5D thinking versus 3 and 4D thinking. So that's that. Now, now you see the bigger, you see how this works now? You see what happens? Person in 3D can only see limited, because they only can see the next car in front of them. 5D, they not only see the next car, they see everything for up to 1 mile. So if you can see everything for up to 1 mile that's happening, what does that mean? That means you can see the big accident or a traffic jam that's going to happen up there. So guess what you do? You turn off the road before anyone knows. Everybody looking at you like, why this guy turning off? You turned off because you already seen before. So everyone gets, it's like, damn, that guy. Now I know why that guy turned off. How the hell you knew that? Where did you see that? That's right. You get a bird's eye view. Remember now, 5D is above. 3D is below. So if you're above, you get, someone says it. I love this, Lemore. Yes, you get a bird's eye view, man. You see the whole thing before. You see the accident down there. You see the traffic light that's out. You see that guy that's sleeping in his car and swerving. You see that over there that's broken. So man, so you just navigate your way out. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna get off of this road because there's the. Imagine what. Now put that in your life. Now, that's just a car example. Now let's use it for the bigger stuff in your life. So if you're doing that, so in the 5D, the stuff that you desire, the how is already made up for you already. The mind already knows how it's gonna get. It's just showing you it in the end. It says, okay, this is it. But just don't worry about how. But here it is there. So what you do, you tend to relax more. 5-dimensional world or 5D, you are in a relaxed state of being because everything is already working out for you. All right. The next quality of 5-dimensional thinkers, and all 5-dimensional thinkers must know this. If you do not know this, it's going to be difficult for you to be a 5-dimensional thinker. And I teach you this, and I'm going to teach you it today. 5-dimensional thinkers know what true reality is. All of you, for the record, if you're watching this, you are a 5-dimensional thinker, or you're beginning to be a 5-dimensional thinker, because 3 and 4D, this won't make sense to you. So this video won't find you. That's the algorithm of the universe, because you're not ready yet. There's nothing wrong with that. When your time comes, my video will pop up for you, and you'll see me, and then you'll go with it. But if that means if this video is finding you, and you're watching this video, congratulations. You are entering the 5th-dimensional thinking world. Okay? And if you watch my video, then you know some stuff about what I teach about the nature of reality. So all of you should have an idea or some kind of little understanding of what reality actually is. So I'd like for you to go down in the comments and comment to me and tell me what reality truly is. This is now mainstream physicists have proven this. So this is not spirituality anymore. This is science. So go ahead, because you need this is the requirement to be, because if you don't know this, how can you be a 5D thinker? So can anyone tell me what is the nature of reality? What is true reality? Right? 5D thinkers don't ask why always in a car. That's why I said some people will get this, some people won't. That's not a question 5D thinkers ask, okay? But it's good that you're here, so you're on your way to learn. All right. There it is. Okay. Donisha, this is the most complex but yet simplest way she described this, and this is what 5D thinkers do. 5D thinkers take the most difficult, trippy stuff and make it very simple, as Donisha says here. Donisha, you're a 5D thinker, because she says it quite brilliantly, and it's just simplicity. Here's what she says. She says, reality is a projection of your imagination. And someone else said, look at this. Scooty says it. See, so you're all thinkers. Scooty says the same thing. Reality is a perception and imagination. See, you're all 5D thinkers. Again, look, Justin says, all created internally. Okay, who's this? 5D. Nothing exists. Perception. See, the world, brilliant. Brilliant. You guys now have the requirement that's going to make you 5D thinkers. Now, for new 5D thinkers, for new awakened ones, if you're seeing this right now and you're reading the comments and you want to know more about, like, okay, what is he talking about? What is it? Reality is non-physical. Let me help you to understand it now. Okay, let me show you something that's going to help you to put it into perspective. So, remember when you were a little kid and you're in your science class and they show you, I don't know if you, but they show you table of elements and they show you the atom and the electron and all that. All of that is actually wrong. The model of the atom they show you is actually wrong. It's outdated. So you'll see the little atom, right, with the stuff going on. That's not actually how an atom actually look in real life. And what an atom actually looks like, if you go to an electron microscope and they see an atom for the first time, all you will see in the atom is a void, and around the void is sparks of plasma energy, and around that void is other little places of energy called the electron. So because an atom has such big voids, there's nothing in there, practically just space. We now, and mainstream physicists have now concluded that reality is basically a dream of our imagination, and our consciousness projects that thing for us to experience based on our brain's evolution. So there's nothing that's real physically. Physically is a term we use to describe. So everything is energy. And I can show you something deep about that. There are some forces, right, that locks in our 3D and 4D world to make it look like a reality to us, make it look real. Those forces are part of what's called the plasma field, electromagnetic field. Those forces, you have weak nuclear, strong nuclear force, you have gravity, right? You have magnetism. Those are forces that make this world look real to you and I. Okay? Check this out. Those forces, they can actually be turned off. We don't know how to turn them off right now, but physics says that you can turn them off, because in other realities, other dimensions, these forces might not even exist. In another dimension, another parallel universe, they might not have gravity. They might not have electromagnetism. They might have more exotic state of matter, exotic state of thing. So we do know that. So let me show you something. Because they can be turned off, but they're on right now. So let's go turn off one of these forces. I'm going to show you something. Let's turn off the electromagnetism force. Let's turn off magnetism. When we turn off magnetism, and this will trip you out. When you turn off the I'll ask you, what happens if we turn off the electromagnetic force? If you've been following me for a while, you know this. What do you think happens if you turn off the electromagnetic force? First, let me give you a clue so you can see this. Everything has positive and kind of like a negative, called duality. So like when you put two magnets against each other, they repel, right? You ever try to put two opposite magnets? That force is the repulsion. What happens if you turn off that force? Now remember, in all of us, we have those forces. So if I'm touching, where my finger at? I'm gonna touch this screen right now. Boom. I'm touching it. There's repulsion. But if I turn off the force, what's gonna happen? If I turn off that force, my fingers will actually go right through the screen. If I turn off the force, I don't have to open my door. I walk through my wall. Because there is no repulsion of force holding me. This makes people's minds go trippy. This is so counterintuitive. But I got news for you, my friends. This is 100% scientific facts. Go read. This is on Google. It's on the first page of Google. No matter what your brain is telling you, no matter how illogical, no matter what you say, it's true. If you turn off electromagnetism, you will walk through the wall. You will jump on the floor and you will go straight through the entire earth. You're like a ghost, because there's no force propelling anything. That goes to prove to you that reality is fake. It's made up. It's constructed. It's just designed for us to make sense of our 3D world. That's science, okay? See how that works? Yes. Hey, Mark. At workplace, I gave my services to clients, but they still not paid me the money yet for my service. How should I react? You react as if you got paid and you're going to get paid, and let it go. Don't even stress or sweat them. Don't even try to call them and beg them. They're supposed to pay you. Don't worry, the universe will bring it back to you some way. As long as you act and feel like you're going to get it back, it's going to work out for you. Yes, the electrons, what happens is within the electron, the magnetism is the force that makes things physical for us. Remember, electrons are empty space. You and I are made of that stuff. The only reason that we cannot walk through each other and walk through walls is because the universe we live in is turned on by magnetism. Magnetism, when it's activated, it creates polarity. And polarity is that force you feel when you put two opposing magnets together. You put your finger through it, you can't even feel it, but it's there, but you try to push against it. There is an actual force, right? That's preventing the magnets from touching. You're like, what? You can't see the force, but if you turn off that force, those two magnets now, not only they touch, they'll transmute and go through each other. Okay, I'd say show you something else to show how reality is fake. Okay, now let's talk about the electromagnetic force. Okay, now remember, it's on, but guess what? You can also turn up the electromagnetic force. You can turn up the energy, but again, we haven't got evolved and advanced to do that just yet. But science now shows us that we can increase what we call entropy or energy from electromagnetism for plasma. So let me to show you something how reality is fake again. Now, I just showed you we can turn up electromagnetism. So if we can turn up the electromagnetic force or the energy force, that means we can apply a concentrated amount of energy. So if, let's say one day we figure out how to do this, you can actually stand right here in this car, and I could just use my hands and I go like this. You ever see the movie? What's that movie? Doctor Strange. You saw how they go into parallel universes. The guy goes like this. He's swirling space. What he's doing is, my hands create motion and energy, and if the force is high enough, I'll actually tear a hole in this space around me. This space is not empty. What you see, it has other elements going to small breathe. But I will tear a hole into this space, and when I tear a hole into this space, it becomes what's called like a black hole or wormhole. When I tear this hole, I can then go into this space right here, and you will see me disappear, and I end up in another dimension or another world, and then I can come back. Again, this is science facts. I know they're put in the movies now, but this is science facts. The only reason we can't do it, we don't have the technology to do it, but we know it's in theory and theoretical physicists, and the math says yes, it's possible. The only reason stopping us is technology. Okay, now as a 5D thinker, see when I did this is what you can do in the physical, right? But in the fifth dimension, you don't have to do this to go into other universes, other multiverses. You can you can use your 5D thinking and go into other dimensions, other realities. Okay, and how you do that is a couple ways. All right, so there's two ways to go into other realities, get information everywhere. The first way you can do that is by creating lucid dreams. When you do a lucid dream, you can go into different parallel worlds, and by being aware of it, you can remember the dream, come back out of the dream, and then use it in your physical world. That's the first way you can do it. There's another way that you can access other dimensions through your consciousness and go there, okay? And the way you can do that, it's so simple. It's so simple. I'm going to tell it to you right now, and you're going to laugh. But you've been doing it every day, all the time. It's called visualization. When you can visualize a future event or a future place, what you call a future place, just to make sense, and you put yourself there, you have actually created and accessed a point in space-time that's an actual place where you are at this moment. You're actually remote viewing another dimension where you existed. because you have multiple copies of you existing at all different points in the multiverse. And because everything is entangled, there is no separation. So you can get feedback, you can tap into your own loop line and see yourself. So what happens is when you see this dimension and you catch a glimpse of it, you can now take a free shot of that dimension and say, okay, I like that dimension. I know I can't get there right now, but hey, we're in a quantum entanglement universe. So you know what I will do? Since I can't physically go there because it's happening now, I can take a copy, because remember, it's infinite. So I'll take a copy of that universe where I am at, and I will transmute it, and I'll bring it into this coordination of space-time where I'm at, so that I can experience the same thing. Because if I take that copy over there, it'll just make another copy. So it wouldn't affect it. I'll just take copy, and I'll bring it here, and then I get to experience the copy. So, okay. So you remember when I won the lottery, and I was visualizing all that stuff? I was seeing the future Mark in another reality doing that. So what I did, I went and I copied that future Mark. And I took that future Mark and I brought it here into this space and coordinate. See, the future Mark is not separated from me. It's in the same space-time. It's in a different coordinate. So because it's entangled. So what I did, because only your imagination can reach that. So I went there and I seen it. Because I seen it, I brought it back here. And because remember, this is done through my subconscious, because my subconscious is illogical and it's connected. So because my subconscious sees that, my subconscious believes that was actually happening in my coordinate, not that coordination. See how it works? Yes, imagination is the preview of life's coming attraction. So I spent a lot of time doing that. I spent a lot of time visualizing stuff. I spent a lot of time talking to my higher self. I spent a lot of time in 5D thinking, and it really elevates you. Now, for you to get to the 5D, guys, there's two things that you got to do right now, okay? The first thing you have to start to do, you got to start practicing being positive. You got to see the good stuff. You got to see that. Your mind is going to show you the negative side. You got to see the positive side. That's the first thing. The next thing you got to do to get 5D thinking is don't force anything, guys. Go with it. Watch how it turns out. If you meet resistance, chill off of it. I'm not telling you not to do anything. Initiate the contact. If the contact doesn't initiate back to you, that's forcing. If it doesn't initiate back to you and you try to initiate, that's called forcing. Don't do that. Those two things will take you to 5D thinking. Because you're training your brain to see the different outcomes that are possible that you can't see. I'll put it in simple terms for you. I'll put it in simple terms. All right. Let's say we're in a house. And in this house, there are 10 bedrooms. And when we're in this house, we only see the first bedroom. We don't see the other 9 bedrooms that can lead us into the courtyard. All these bedrooms take you into a courtyard. But the first bedroom that we see, the door is hinged. It's stuck. So because we're focused on the first door, we have to push to make it open because we can't see the other 9 around us. But yet there are 9 doors that you can just go and open it and get to the same place. That's a product of our ego. When we're in the 3D world, our ego likes to force, our ego creates tunnel vision for us. Our ego doesn't show us other options. It just says, damn it, I'm gonna make this work. You better open up. And then next to you, a guy walks by and you're like, huh? And he goes into the other door. And you're like, man, I wasted all that energy, all that stuff. Ego, why did you just show me that there are other options? Don't blame your ego, because your ego is limited. It's just doing what it's made. It's survive. Your ego is focused on problem solving. So when there's a problem in front of your ego only can see a limited solution. So it's going to say, okay, this door, so let's take off the hinge. All right, no, this is not working. All right, let's go get a crowbar. And you expend all that energy. But your ego had no idea that, bro, my friend, there are 9 more doors here. And a matter of fact, a couple of those doors are even open. You know, some of those doors are locked, but the lock work. But a few of them are wide open. See, when you see that frame, 5D thinkers now, let me show you what happens when you're a 5D thinker in that frame. So you're going into the house, okay? Yeah, you're going to see the door. The first door you're going to see. You're going to see it. But as a 5D thinker, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see the door, but your ego can't create tunnel vision because it's only got you by 20%. So out of the corner of your eyes, you're going to catch a glimpse of another door. And then that's going to carry your attention. You're going to see the other doors. Therefore, so what you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do, because you see the first door, you're going to try to open the first door. So when you try to open the fourth door, you see it's locked. What are you going to do now? You're going to say, all right, let me go to the next door because I've seen the doors. That's 5D thinkers. See that? They go with the flow and the universe flows back to them. And it works out always in their favor. Got it, guys? So basically, that's what I want to leave you with today. And I'll see you great 5D thinkers next time.